Hi, this is Emily of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. A new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
History is happening in High Point as professional baseball has come to Furniture City. Don't miss any of the action from strikeouts,
3-2 cold strike 3 right at the knees,
to web gems,
stabbed by Alfonso, he spins, throws to first, and the pick by Bichette rounds out a beautiful play.
to home runs,
High fly ball deep left field. This one is gone. Get up and get out. Tyler Ladendorf.
and of course, every rockin' victory.
The pitch. Swing, strikeout, the Rockers win! The first win in Rockers history here at home.
Interviews, recaps, and insights from across the Atlantic League. It's all fresh off the Rockers.
Hello and welcome to the Off Our Rockers podcast, the official podcast for the High Point Rockers Atlantic League baseball team. I'm your host, Kevin McMahon, the play-by-play broadcaster for the High Point Rockers. And Off Their Rockers is going to be the source for everything Rockers. Think of it as an inside look at your hometown team. What can you expect this season from Off Your Rockers? Well, this is going to be the spot. We're going to have people coming in to talk to us. Who? Players, coaches, the manager, Jamie Keefe. Anybody and everybody is going to be here on Off Your Rockers. If you're a Rockers fan, this is where you want to be because you're going to get the inside scoop. You're going to be able to hear from the players and how they are feeling about the upcoming series and how they felt about the games that passed, and also an inside look of who they are, are the High Point Rockers. Off Your Rockers is going to be a great place to hear the stories that you may not know about the team, learn some new things about your team, the new players. Who are these Rockers? Off Your Rockers is going to be the spot where you can get all those answers. Your High Point Rockers, they're off to a great start so far. 9-7 overall. Looked pretty good at home, currently on a 3-game win streak. And they have an important series coming up when they return back to BB&T Point on May 17th. It all starts off with the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. And then they host the Long Island Ducks, who are second in the Liberty Division. That's the division that the Rockets are in. And the Ducks are 11-4. So a very important series. They're in second right now. And your Rockers are in third in the Liberty Division. So being at the top of the division, that's where you want to be. So a very important stretch. And you can't look past the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs who are in the Freedom Division. Every team in the Atlantic League, what you're going to learn as you follow this team is everybody has guys with a lot of experience. We're talking about major leaguers, guys who have been to the show, or guys who have been very high up in the minor league system, AA, AAA, Advanced A, every version. But a lot of these, when you go down the roster, a lot of these players, it's like AAA, AA, MLB. So a ton of experience. When you come to a game, you're seeing really high-level baseball. And that's what's been so exciting for me as I'm getting to see so many great players. That's why you got to come out to the point and experience the high-level baseball that takes place in the Atlantic League. So what we're going to do today, as this is our first episode of Off Your Rockers, this is kind of your first taste of the podcast, this is basically going to be just a little trip down memory lane here with Kevin McMahon. my look back at the first 2 weeks or so of the season for your Rockers, and a lot took place. A lot went on. First of all, BB&T Point opened, and the Rockers were born. It was High Point, North Carolina's first look at what having an independent league baseball team was, having a baseball team to call their own. When the Rockers came into town at BB&T Point, it was a sold-out crowd on May 2nd as the Rockers hosted the Sugarland Skeeters, and something really special happened that night. And if you're ranking stories for the Rockers the last couple of weeks, one that ranks pretty high up, one that stood out to me, is the emergence at home of Dante Bichette Jr. kind of being, he is a fan favorite. There's no doubt about it. He is the answer to a trivia question. He is the first, he is the man who hit the first home run in BB&T Point history. First one, a Rockers home run, a solo shot, and the Rockers would go on to lead, to win the game. And every time he steps up to the plate, since that night, a huge ovation. So the emergence of Dante Bichette Jr. has been awesome to watch. So that is one of our early stories as you look at the High Point Rockers. The great thing, as I was looking at the roster, getting ready to start this today, the great thing is about this team, a lot of guys play. Almost everybody on this roster saw time at BB&T Point. So as a Rockers fan, if you come to multiple games, you're going to be able to see everybody. And when the Rockers played all these guys, they got results. They got wins. So that shows the depth on this team. And I've had the privilege of being able to speak to manager Jamie Keefe for the Rockers at batting practice before games. And I got to ask him about the culture of the High Point Rockers. And he said, this is going to be a place where we win. We put winning, at one of the top things we want to do, but we also place having fun as a top priority as well. But that's a clubhouse that has, a lot of leadership in it and a vision. Guys in there who are laser focused and ready to get the job done. JB Keefe described it as a place where we want guys to come in here, work hard, and be able to move on to the next level. So that was what Keefe had to say. And so far, you can see that from the stands, from the press box, that this is a team focused on winning and having fun. And in the process, I believe the crowd has a good time watching these guys play. Going down the roster, that's kind of how I want to focus all of our time together here today, is go down the roster and talk about the depth and how great all these players are. But some of the guys who really stood out on the first couple weeks of the season, especially at home. First, we started with Dante Bichette Jr., who came alive when he got to BB&T Point. Big hits, home runs, great fielder. He plays right field and first base. And he looks great in both positions. I was saying on the broadcast the other day, what a great problem to have if you're manager Jamie Keefe. You can put him either place and you're going to be squared away. So he is as solid as it gets and really fun to watch. Hector Gomez is another guy. You might recognize his name or recognize him when you come to BB&T Point. He's a major leaguer. He played for the Milwaukee Brewers. And Gomez has a lot of leadership. Jamie Keefe spoke very highly of him. And you can just kind of tell he's one of the clubhouse leaders. And when he gets up in big spots, he can come through, played a big role in the New Britain Bees series. Another guy, when you talk leadership and on the defensive side of things, is Tyler Ladendorf, especially in the last home game at BB&T Point in this last series against the New Britain Bees. It was school day, May 8th, and he led off the game with a solo home run and then went straight into the field and made great plays. He was ready to stand up and be the next man up for the Rockers when they needed a big play, a big out, a big hit. Ladendorf was that guy. Manager Jamie Keefe said, our identity is we're really strong defensively, and one of the guys who can get that started for us is Tyler Leidendorf. He said the plays he's able to make are unbelievable. And it's true. Leidendorf is stunning at second base. Being able to watch him the last couple of games has been unbelievable. If you get a chance, there's a million reasons why you should come out and enjoy High Point Rocker baseball. And Tyler Leidendorf's defense is one of them. You got to come out and watch this guy play. It looks effortless. He makes it look so easy. He's a joy to watch. So he's been really fun. Another guy who plays great defense at shortstop, especially in that New Britain series, he had some great plays at shortstop, was Giovanni Alfonso. I love his defense. They always say that you put a really strong defender at shortstop. Giovanni Alfonso is all over it at shortstop. He plays a great game. He makes diving plays, diving efforts, and really will try to win the game at any expense. He is all in at all times, and I really enjoy that about him. Another thing that struck me about the Rockers team as a whole, the hustling is off the charts. Every single time there is, a 50-50 play where it's going to be close at first base, or if there's a ball that might be in foul territory that probably is going to go out anyway, so you might just leave it. The Rockers are busting it to the line. They're busting it to first base. They're going in towards the stands to get the ball. That is the kind of passion that these guys have for the game, and it's contagious. You want to just watch it and enjoy it. So it's kind of hard to not, really want to follow and love these guys with the way they hustle so hard. So that's been very fun to watch as well. A couple other guys who jump off the list here for me. I'm going to keep it with the infielders here. He's actually a guy he's listed as an infielder, plays a little bit of both, but he spent the majority of the time, last couple games, at BB&T Point in the outfield. Steven Cardullo. He is as consistent as a hitter as you're going to see. Really got going when he got to BB&T Point. Every single time up, this guy has been all over it. I think he was at something like 11 hits in 4 games while he was at the Point. I mean, he was that good. He was on fire. He hustles hard. He manufactures hits on pitches that don't look like the best pitch of the at-bat, and he'll make it happen. So Cardullo has been showing great progress. And if you've been following the Rockers on the road in their series against the York Revolution, he had a grand slam the other night against the Revolution. So that is the kind of explosive hitting you can expect from Steven Cardullo. And if you go down the list, you could give a summary about every single one of these guys. Michael Baca gets out there and hustles hard and shows a lot of effort, off the bench, and really kind of serves as, kind of a boost for the Rockers. Every time if they get a little down or something, Baca comes in and he can really serve as a little energy boost for the Rockers, really when they need it most. And he's been very consistent in the spots they've put him in as well. As you shift your attention to the outfield, Quincy Lattimore. This is a guy who gets up there with a lot of power at the plate, especially. He can get up there and really make a pitcher pay if they put it in a position where they don't want it to. They didn't want to. He can really capitalize in big situations. And as we've touched on as a theme of this podcast so far, he's a great defender. And that's kind of the requirement to be a High Point Rocker. It feels like you got to be a great defender. And Lattimore fits that role as well. And you could go down every single guy. Josh Mazzola has come in big spots. Richie Schaefer played first base for a couple games for the Rockers in their first homestand ever at BB&T Point and was great at first base. I enjoyed watching him. I think him and Bichette Jr. you can kind of go committee at first base if you want, because everybody is good. Like I said, it's kind of a requirement to be on the Rockers to be, pretty great at defense. And as I've been talking about today, the theme for the Rockers is depth, and their pitching is no exception. Matt Sergey starts it off. He threw the home opener. He was the starter, and he threw 6 innings, no hits, went into the 7th inning, 2 strikes, and then had to come out due to an injury, but just a great start, and that really set the tone for the Rockers defensively and on the pitcher's mound. When you look at relief for the Rockers, they have so many guys that can come out and help out and pitch really well. Morris, Frank, Runyon, so many options for the Rockers. And Trevor Frank has really kind of cemented himself as the closer. And when he comes in and he can get in a groove, he can really feel it and get in a flow. And he is hard to get a hit on. And usually when he comes out, especially like he did at the Point in the first series, it was nearly a guarantee that he was going to get the save. He was really locked in. And if you're a Rockers fan, you see Frank jogging out to the mound, that means your Rockers are in a really good spot. Asher Tolliver is a guy who was also a really good option for the Rockers and came through in some big spots. And, of course, it's been a story, but we would be foolish not to mention it. Frank Viola, the pitching coach for the Rockers, helping all those guys out and getting them organized. So, the legend, Frank Viola, helping out those Rockers pitchers. So, yeah, when you go down the line, pitchers, catchers, infielders, outfielders, there is a lot to like defensively, as we spoke about, but offensively as well. A lot of firepower and a lot of reasons to come out to the Point to watch these guys play. And when you come to BB&T Point, you can expect great baseball to be played by the Rockers and whoever they're playing from the Atlantic League. It is a really high level of baseball, so you should come out to experience it. It's a whole lot of fun. And the Rockers are going to need you to do just that starting on May 17th as they are in another big homestand at the Point as they host the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs in a 3-game series. And then they take a day off on the 20th and they host the Long Island Ducks. Now that is an important series because right now your Rockers are on the road and they are taking on the Somerset Patriots, who are currently in front in the Liberty Division. They are in the number 1 spot. The Ducks are just just a half a game behind them. So the Rockers get to see the Patriots on the road, and then they see the Ducks at home after they take on the Blue Crabs. So a very important stretch. And I hate to speculate, but by the time it's all said and done, your Rockers could put themselves in a position to be in the top spot or right there in a tight race. So a really important stretch coming up for the Rockers. So you need to come out and bring that home field advantage for your hometown team. Now, let's tell you what's going on at the ballpark when you do come out. And in that first series that starts on the 17th against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, the Rockers are going to be wearing some awesome jerseys special on the 18th. It is Police Appreciation Night, and they are wearing these light blue jerseys with a tie. It looks like a police uniform. It has the Rockers logo on a gold medal. It looks like a badge. They are really cool looking. They're really unique. I've never really ever seen anything quite like them. So if you want to see them, if you're excited, and you go, I wonder what that looks like, you can go onto the High Point Rockers Twitter page at Rockers Baseball to get another look at those. So that'll be fun. And then it's going to be post-game fireworks after that. Sunday, it's a family fun day. Kids run the bases. Taco Tuesday on the 21st, School Day on the 22nd, early start, folks. And then on Thursday, we finish out the homestand with Dollar Beer Night as they take on the Long Island Ducks. So you're going to want to come out and experience all that. Be sure to go down to the concession stand, get yourself a double play hot dog. They put mac and cheese and bacon on a hot dog, folks. It's unbelievable. It's the best hot dog I've ever had. I'm not just saying that, but it's tremendous. You have to go and experience it to believe it. It's a tremendous hot dog. So come out to the point. It's always a great time, and your Rockers need you. The homestand starts on the 17th against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, and then on the 21st with the Long Island Ducks. It goes from the 17th to the 23rd. Your Rockers are going to be in town for 6 games. So come out and enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed yourself on this edition, the first episode of Off Our Rockers. This is what you can expect and so much more. We're going to have guests and stories and everything you're going to want to hear about your Rockers. I'm Kevin McMahon, and I'll see you next time, and hopefully I'll see you at BB&T Point for a game. All right, folks, we'll see you next time. Until then, go Rockers.